welcome back. The Between Stars and Suns, Season 2, Episode 8. Woo! Okay. So, a lot happened, as usual, last episode. I'm going to ask my hunters what they remember from last time, kind of recall what stands out in their mind from last session, and then we will continue on with day phase. All right. And then just check in to make sure that what they thought they were going to do is still what they're going to do, but there is going to be a little side scene that happens before, like in between the recap, after the recap and then before the rest of day phase. Okay. So go ahead. Let's start from the left. Sir Atticus, what do you remember from last time?
The mastermind has the timey-wimey box, and that's not good. Also, Ernest shot a gun accidentally, and that was fun. And then we had a bonding moment over the protege. And I guess there's a fight club that we need to check out because it's bad.
Oh, yes, that's pretty much accurate. I unfortunately was not there, so I could not handle things, such as keeping the time travel stuff contained. I was dealing with my own problems, such as overt, and I shot a gun, and I did manage to hit my target. So that was pretty good. Less good is now that there is an additional vampire in Hargrave House. Don't worry about it. No one else but me needs to know about this. I had a conversation with Liat. She's not amused with my shortcomings of very short-sightedness about the future and what it entails. Dame Georgie doesn't expect to live to tomorrow, so why worry about any consequences of today? That's someone else's problems.
Miss Canon.
I mean, pretty much everything that I remember got covered, but I guess more specifically, we tried to resolve the mean times of Greenwich, and the solution to that was to track down these essentially intergalactic either refugees or runaway criminals. We're still not sure, but they had taken the form of past and future James Allardyce. And Liat tried to make a bargain with them to give them safe haven, but unfortunately, a drunken Ernest shot her box, and she dropped it, and it fell into the hands of the mastermind.
And just before Ernest goes, I'm just going to clarify, like, as I did off screen, it's like, I didn't explain it completely. I mean, I think that Ernest was tripping on Victorian time acid, whatever the hell we want to call it. And he tripped and dropped the gun. The gun went off from being dropped, and that's what knocked the box out of Liat's hand. So not quite his fault. So
I think you're just making excuses for him.
Probably. I'm nurturing like that. Okay, Ernest.
To be fair, because Ernest was on such a fun time trip, I don't think that he really understood what he was responsible for or how badly he messed it up, which is kind of his milieu or whatever. So I think everything else is pretty well covered. We introduced the shortest slugger threat for this round, and yeah, we just have some investigating to do.
So much investigating to do. We are up to 3 threats now on the board, and we'll have to see if there's going to be any even close to being answered, resolved, what have you, come this dusk and night phase. Okay, so a little scene. I'm thinking that the vulnerable scenes last time kind of took place around the same time, what have you. Maybe even Miss Canon and Dame Georgie had gone out before Sir Atticus and Ernest had their little smoking tete-a-tete. Rag had come in, admiring the book, looking over the compendium, seeing what there is to see, all these different monsters that the Wellington-Hughes family may have come across, encountered, and fought. I think we follow in this scene, we follow Rag coming out of the room where Sir Atticus is talking with Ernest. And then we see him sitting down in Sir Atticus's room and just kind of like going over, trying to read in his small way. Vampire notes. Long fangs might not like holy. Ugh, this prince stinks. Oh, can't read this. Let's look at the pictures. And then he like puts his hand down the book, and you see his finger start to go down the list of things, and comes across a picture of a cross. And then as that happens, he hears a thud from a room down the hall. And you see his head peek out of Sir Atticus's room. Another thud and a moan. And being inquisitive, of course, Rag goes down to the hall, possibly Dame Georgie's room. More sounds. And he goes and he pushes the door open and sees a woman lying in bed, dress torn, bloodied probably still, and she is looking haggard, and she is shaking her head and looking up at him and saying, "I'm so cold and thirsty. Can you give me a drink?" And I think this conversation happens. Well, I mean, like the conversation between Sir Atticus and Ernest, and then maybe perhaps around this time, Dame Georgie or Liat or both may make it back to Hargrave House for some weird ass reason. You can decide amongst yourselves. But I think at that moment when you end the conversation between Sir Atticus and Ernest, I think there is a shrill scream and then another shout from Rag. What do you do, whomever is there in Hargrave?
Sword in hand, I'm running to where Rag is.
Ernest is a beat behind Sir Atticus, but takes the opportunity to pocket a little extra tobacco while I still have access.
Of course. And I think as you're making your way, Dame Georgie or Miss Canon, do you think you're home to hear this?
No, and even if it was there, she wouldn't care.
Okay.
Probably not, because we were heading towards like the Kilborn Abbey, and
Okay.
like we stopped at like a chapel to like have our vulnerable scene.
Sure.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'm just letting you know this is what's going on now. So I think what happens is, Atticus, you see Rag, strangely enough, staying pretty calm. Like he's actually in an A stance, and he has something in his hand. And you can't quite see it like as you're pounding up the hallway to him. But I mean, like he's murmuring something to himself. And as you get closer, you realize he's saying the Our Father. And he's holding one of the crosses from your room. I said, "Heart in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come." And then he just keeps on chanting it. And then when you look to see what he's pointing the cross at, I think you'll see this woman collapsed on the floor. And she looks like she's trying to crawl towards him. And maybe you see underneath her tattered dress and underneath her matted hair, you see that there are still remains of dried blood on her neck. And as Bragg is holding this, I mean, like as he's chanting this and he's saying the prayer and he's holding the cross out in front of him, he is does something, and then you realize he has, I don't know if you have this, but a cross that if you flick something, then it has a knife on the bottom of it.
Yeah, that seems
Out.
like something that I would have.
Rag finishes the iteration, the cycle of the Our Father. He says, should I take her out, sir? I think she's a vampire.
Can
She's
I?
in the house. You know this is Dame Georgie's room.
Is it reasonable that I can put 2 and 2 together?
I mean, you're experienced. Your family is experienced. And most likely you would have this in the notes.
Georgie. Atticus will stop at the door and say, "What do you think is right here, boy?"
I mean, you said don't vow to pray, but I mean, she was just lying there in the bed, and she's all bloodied, but she looked like she was going to try and take a bite out of me.
But has she killed? Is she a man killer?
I don't know, sir. I mean, why is she even here? She doesn't look like it. She looks like, I don't know, fresh meat. Ugh.
And that doubt, that bit of humanity that she still clings to, is why we still are hand as the Wellington-Hughes family. We seek to destroy threats to man, beasts that have decided that engorging themselves, that hunting the weaker of humanity for their own selfish gain is more important than who they were. And this one.
She looks up at you, Sir Atticus, as you're saying this, and she says, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm the Lady Abigail.
Atticus will step forward, grab the crucifix from Rag. I understand. And he will kneel down and he will slash his hand and spill blood so that she may drink.
She will hesitate for a few seconds as she crawls desperately with shaking hands to your wrist to drink a little bit. But she hesitates. I mean, she's crying again and just, I don't want to.
If you don't, you will die, and you won't suffer anymore. But if you drink, there's a burden that comes with it. And it will not be the last time that you drink.
Am I a monster? Am I forever cursed?
That is your choice, lady. If you would like to die as you were, I would be able to satisfy such a request. And I kind of motion with the crucifix dagger. But if you are willing to stand the trial, to face through whatever you may, to resist these dark desires, and remain true to yourself, then drink and stand proud.
Will I need to drink human blood?
No. And I would be more than happy to answer any further questions about your condition, but immediacy first. Otherwise, I doubt that you'll maintain your sensibilities much longer, lady.
She nods, and then she will gently as she possibly can, her hand still shaking, and she will drink. You feel her small mouth like nipping a little bit at your wrist, at your arm, but not so much that she is desperate for it. And she keeps her eyes on you She's listening to your words, trying to hold on to whatever keeps her still human. And Rag is behind you. Since you're kneeling down, he's going to clasp your shoulder and just feel like he's taking strength from your solidity. Sir, what do we do with her?
We monitor. Catch and release. Rag, there is one thing that you must remember. Death is a permanent solution. It is for things that are without any hope of redemption. I'm very proud of you. You reacted very much like a Wellington-Hughes.
I was taught a little. I remember that. I remember that prayer. It was the first thing that came to mind. And well, I saw the symbol, the cross thing in the book. That book's pretty handy. Yeah.
The crucifix only works if you truly believe, Rag. If you have true faith in the prayer.
I guess I did. I mean, like, God don't like pickpockets. At least I was told, like stealing, but I had to. So
Yes.
but I still believe a little.
Enough to scare off a vampire, apparently. And she is still a person, vampire or not, until such a time as she decides to gorge herself.
At that point, she will release your arm, not having taken more than she really feels that she needs.
And Atticus will just gently say, "It is always a choice, lady."
I don't know where to go. What do I do? I don't even remember how I got here.
I think Ernest has been standing in the door, just smoking and watching this whole thing go by, as rolling with like another cigarette, lights it, and says, "How do you know Dame Georgie Benbrook-Carter, good lady? Because you are in his bed."
Dame Georgie? Huh. Benbrook-Carter. Name sounds familiar. Where am I? What house is this? Who are you?
There are
I
better
think she
places for
needs
this.
to rest.
Let's take her to one of the many guest rooms in Hargrave House and make sure there's a lock on the door.
I understand. I don't blame you for precaution. I apologize if I've frightened you. And she's looking directly at Rag when she says that. No big thing, miss. I handled myself. I hope you're all right. And she smiles a little bit at that. And she will go wherever you want to place her.
Do I mark a circle on my hunt?
Absolutely.
Ernest, what sense do I get of the beast's ever approaching presence in this moment?
I think that watching Rag take on his own mission in this moment is actually making you feel the weight of years on years that you've experienced beyond your own flesh, and the fact that your own age is starting to impact the hunt. It's gone on for so long that you're just feeling the weight of it, and it's coming to its inevitable end.
And then I think you're going to say something. Sorry.
Oh, it's worth noting that Ernest, between the smoking room and this room, chose to dress and is no longer just a sailor hat and a pair of pants.
Glad Ernest took the time to get decent. Yeah, I think the scene kind of ends there with us making sure that she's comfortable in a locked room.
All right. Dayface continues. So, Dame Georgie and Miss Kinnon, we're going to go back to Kilborn Abbey
Mhm.
First,
together.
I would like to ask if it's okay,
Mhm.
because I wasn't there, if Abdurrahman was there.
Ooh. You tell me. He seems to appear where you are, or at least before you get to wherever you are. If you want him to be there, like at Hargrave House, you can,
Yeah.
or at Abbey, sure, whichever.
No, I'd like him to have been at Hargrave House. I
Okay.
think the scene between Dame Georgie and I is an intimate one. He doesn't need to be there.
Was he doing anything at Hargrave House while this was all going on?
Just listening.
Ah, okay.
Mm.
All right. And then just remind me again, where Sir Atticus and Ernest wanted to go? And what, may I ask, are you going to have Rag do? Just so you know. Just so I know.
I wanted to investigate Fig's pigs and see if
Okay.
we could track down Patrick Fig. And given that Rag is, a local of Shoreditch, he would be valuable to help and tag along. I don't know if Ernest would also be interested in hunting down the dangerous cannibals.
Where are we going to investigate though? Because we've been in and out of that shop a lot. Or at least Dame Georgie
Once.
was in it. Oh,
Dame
okay.
Georgie was up and down. And almost got like his head sliced off. It was great.
Dunking around there, or just honestly poking around Shoreditch, like the district itself.
Yeah. Mechanically,
might
you can
tag
find a
along.
clue anywhere. But yeah.
I might tag along towards Fig's Pigs and then be listening to street chatter and kind of like peel off to do some Shoreditch sluggering, sleuthing.
Sounds wonderful.
As Mads is checking stuff up that, I will also note some changes to Dame Georgie's room as well.
Okay.
Sir Atticus, I think you have noticed that Dame Georgie has taken up rat keeping, like keeping rats in the room. Like a little
Like you have one of
Well,
those big like hamster like colony things, but it's just filled with rats.
oh, like not filled, but like has like a half a dozen rats or so.
Okay. All right. Anything
Um,
else?
The door was locked, but it's no longer locked. I'll let you decide if it was unlocked or was the lock broken.
I mean, Rag is little, little pocket picket.
Whoa. I mean,
Just saying.
either way, I think when it
mean,
becomes plot relevant, I think we'll figure out why the door was open.
yes,
but-
there's also the considering that Miss Kanon's servant was there, so there's lots of fingers to be pointed at.
Are you implying that my man Abdurrahman would do such an untoward thing? How dare you?
I'm implying that Liat would have commanded her servant to do such a thing, so
I take offense to that.
Who could have possibly put the starving vampire in this bedroom? Certainly not
Yeah.
Georgie. No,
Yeah, right.
absolutely.
Just deflect. That's fine. Yeah.
I mean, the question is who let the vampire out of the bedroom?
Uh-huh. It looks like Mads is ready though, so
Madge just threw in the bomb and just let
It's just like, I'm sorry, but you guys really did it to yourselves last time.
What?
Because you introduced a gun in the first act. It had to go off in the third.
oh,
on.
that's what you meant. I thought you were literally talking about a gun. I was
I thought you
very
were talking about Ernest's
confused.
gun.
Yeah.
I was.
But his gun already went off.
Maybe there's something different that's been introduced that now will be shooting off some other time. I'm telling you, you guys are making it very easy for me to run this game. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Really felt it was Chekhov's vampire, but I guess I'm completely wrong.
So many things could be a weapon, I mean. since we didn't see Dame Georgie and Liat and Miss Kinnon yet, let's go ahead and go to the Abbey first, okay?
Mhm.
So yes, you find yourselves back at the Abbey. There is a pall.
Well, I have a quick question.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because of the way that this scene ended last time, is Dame going with me to the Abbey, or did you peel off and are you sneaking up?
Like,
Yeah, good question.
like I think I stormed out and like we're heading. It's the awkward situation of we're heading in the same direction.
Just not together.
Okay.
Ah.
So sort of like walking, but like a couple paces in between and like not saying anything. And you would at least see the smug sense of satisfaction on Liat's face.
How thick is that veil, Miss Kinnon?
And it's thick enough to conceal, any kind of like emotion, but she doesn't want to. I think she sort of pulled it up away from her mouth at least a bit, so that you can see what she's saying.
Got it.
Even if it was covering her face entirely, I could have sensed that.
Sure.
That's true.
Yes.
So yeah, I guess in that case, yeah, her veil is down, and I think Dame is just perceptive.
Or sulking. Either way.
Both.
Yes. Yeah. Either way. And maybe the smell of smug is rich on Liat. Who the hell knows? Damn. Okay. So
Favorite fragrance.
Yeah. I want to see that fragrance. Smug. All right, great. All right, I'm already losing it. So all right.
Steer the ship.
Steering the ship. I don't steer it. I don't steer anything. You guys just like, just run me ragged. Yeah, I think as you approach the Abbey, I think you both in your own way like feel some kind of influence where whatever you might have felt when you first got there, Miss Kinnon, it's increased. And Dame Georgie, given your newer senses, it's like I think you also feel something, and not even just the visual, not even just the whole like, okay, they had like the darkness and the shadows and the stains or whatever that didn't go away. I mean, there is something here that you feel. Please tell me. Please tell me what you feel. No problem. I mean, like, please tell me what you sense as you approach the front of the Abbey again.
Well, that was actually going to be Liat's question to Dame Georgie as they're approaching. Even though they're like sort of distant from each other and haven't spoken the entire walk here, I think before we enter, Liat, not looking at Dame, just says, "So tell me, with your new perception, what is it that you perceive now about this place?"
It's odd. I think, there's still faith here, if that makes sense. Sort of an outer shell of it. But at its core, there's something lurking here. Something very pleased to make its home here.
And does it excite you to be near it?
I wouldn't call it excitement, I'm more of curiosity. I think if it wasn't here, I think I would have a little bit more of a extreme reaction to this place. I feel a little bit at ease right now.
You're among friends.
Are you amongst friends as well?
Perhaps. And she'll start to stride on in.
As you say that, you go up the steps, maybe down the cobblestones, you both will smell something that seems like sulfur mixed with something else, something irresistible. Do you stop to talk to anybody on the way? I mean, there are monks that are hurrying about to their business, taking a glance perhaps at you, but then shying away.
Are they afraid?
I don't know about afraid. Just wary, I think.
You smell it.
Of course I do.
I wonder if they've noticed it yet, or they're trying to ignore it. Let's find the source, shall we?
Yes, shall we split up?
Easier to cover the ground. I was originally going to tend to try to find the location that started this all, but
No, it's the cellar.
I
Is
will
this the-
say that there is like not only the cellar where the excavation found the girl, but there's also the Abbey archive, the mortuary, and the garden.
Well, I'm
It's
going to go
available.
see the abbot because he's a servant of mine.
Yes. He might still be down in the cellar where you told him to sleep. So
Oh, was that this morning? I thought it was yesterday morning.
hold on. God, timey-wimey.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or maybe he fears you enough that maybe he will stay there until.
It's up to you.
Well, I'm going to the cellar or wherever this smell is coming from.
Okay. You can either choose to go down to the cellar with Dame Georgie, Miss Kinnon, or you can check out one of the other areas and speak to some of the other monks. That is up to you.
Actually, I mean, I was heading towards his office to see if he was there.
Right.
But if he's not there, if there's someone else of authority here, or someone here who seems a bit more on the weak-willed or sniveling side, go after them.
I'm going to say that would be probably a monk that you find near his office, kind of coming out looking for him, like looking, questioning, like, oh, hello. If you are looking for Abbot Claudius, he's not in his office. I'm trying to find him.
Interesting. Do you know where he was last?
Yes. He seemed to be following your direction. And this is where he shies his gaze away from you, looking down at your shoes, your sandals, boots. That's right. You're wearing a man's suit and
Yeah.
boots. Yeah.
Very good. And she'll put her fingers beneath his chin and lift his head up towards hers, and say, would you help me with something?
Oh, yes, absolutely. He smells faintly of rosemary and lavender.
Would you take confession with me?
I to confess with you, or accept your confession, or I confess.
And she'll just take his hand and start to walk towards the confessional.
Certainly. I don't pretend to know or be as knowledgeable as the abbot, but I can try. Or you?
Oh no, my dear, you're going to be the one confessing to me.
Oh, I see.
And she'll pull aside the curtain for him.
I will do this.
Of course you will.
But not because you are who you seem to be. He's surprisingly steadfast and not as easily intimidated. I'm doing this because I want to show my faith in my quiet way.
Whether I'm very rude, what is your name?
I am Brother Elijah.
Brother Elijah. Well, I can tell you that I have no ill will or any designs to upset or disrupt your faith here. I simply want what is best for this abbey. That is to get to the root of the entities that plague this house of worship. And she says that sort of derisively, looking over at the cross.
I'm willing to help in any way that I can.
Very good. Inside.
Yes.
And,
You will.
Liat will get into the investors or the listeners. See, I don't know the anatomy of a professional.
Yeah, neither do I.
Yeah.
Not for a very long time.
Yeah.
And he will see that he will intone like the initial whatever. And then you'll see his silhouette as he bows his head and he intertwines his fingers together and says, "Every night I pray for my brother's strength, but prayers alone will not solve this problem. Faith is only part of the solution."
Brother Elijah, there is but one date for an entity such as the one that plagues you.
Do I dare ask?
Confess your desires to me. The darkest things that you hide even from God himself.
Is this jonesing for an information move?
Yes, and what I'm trying to do, and I'm going to use an item from my personal quarters to sort of help explain it, I guess, or to justify it, is I have this hex bag from the REC
Okay.
inventory, and I'm trying to essentially get him possessed.
You're trying to get him possessed?
Yes, I want to get him possessed by the demon.
All right, hold
So I
on.
can
Let me
talk to
see.
it.
Sure. Let's see. Once it does possess someone, influence becomes overwhelming. Oh boy. This is a dangerous game you play. I will allow for an information move first. And then, if it fucks up or a possible mixed result, then we will see. So go ahead and information move this with presence because you were trying to exert some influence upon him.
Okay.
To start.
So that's going to be 3d6 because I'm using the thing for advantage.
Sure.
Hex bag.
Wait. Just to verify. Oh, as seen by the demon. You're just going with a straight roll.
Okay.
Yes.
That's gonna be, I've got a 3 in presence. Fuck that. That's gonna be a 8 total.
Okay, good. I was like, looking at your
like,
face. You laugh. Okay.
What's funny though is I rolled with advantage first. I got a 1, a 4, and a 4, and then when I rolled again, I got a 1 and a 4.
God, so close. Ooh, all right, great. Mixed result. That's fine. Yeah. I'm gonna say, like, you have the hex bag out as he's thinking about it, and he's starting to say something. Let's give you a clue first, and then it'll lead into the complication. I think he will start to admit, he will start to confess his enjoyment, his voyeurism of seeing late night meetings, intimate late night meetings between Abbot Claudius and the Mother Superior of a nearby abbey.
He's keeping Tom, is he?
A bit, yes. But as he's confessing this and, this sweat rolls off of him, you sense some kind of suffocating force that fills not only his chamber, but also yours. As the darkness creeps, the shadows lengthen, and you hear a voice very close to your ear, Liat. Thank you for returning. You make it so easy to want to taste you. And we shall go over to Dame Georgie. Dame Georgie, you have gone back into the cellar, or gone into the cellar that you're checking out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think you find your way down to the cellar, and you hear groans, like muttered snatches of what sound like prayer or admonishments, and then you hear like kind of like a rhythmic slapping or something. sounds like a branch or something like that being beaten on yeah, a surface. And I think what you'll find when you get down to the cellar where the excavation was purported to be,
Mhm.
you will see a large figure with pudgy but yet muscular, with the top of the habit off. And you see the back of this figure looking like they are what's the word? Flagellating themselves with, like, I guess, like one of those reeds, kind of like the flexible branches. I can never remember what the wood is, but anyway, yeah. I mean, this and this is the figure that's making the groans and the muttered prayers, and he's doing this in front of the hole
Mhm.
as he's kneeling in the dirt and stones of this cellar.
Is like his back is facing towards me, like as
Correct.
he's like,
Yeah, you mean like he's like he's half kneeling and crouched, and then you only see like the curve of his back as he's flagellating himself.
I think some of the as I'm approaching some uh as the sort of I think like I'm going to just describe as a cat of nine tails being like sort of like hits onto the back. I think some of the blood splatters on me. And I laugh a little bit.
He suddenly whirls and falls flat on his butt as he's looking with wild eyes into the darkness. Not very well lit here. And who's there? Who's that?
Oh, why are you? Why, Abbot? Why are you afraid in your house of God?
Not afraid. I'm just
Oh, no,
showing my
no,
faith.
no, no, you're afraid. You're afraid that your God has abandoned you. And that's why you.
He's pointing at you with a shaking hand. Begone, fiend! Feel the wrath of our Lord and Savior. This hand is bloodied from the self-flagellation.
Mhm. I sort of grab his hand and I try to force him up, and it just like, come on now. Have some assertion in your life. Have some faith.
I do
But
have faith,
no.
showing my humility and
Humility? Is
giving
this what
blood.
we're calling this now? No.
Who are you to judge?
I think my hand is now more covered in blood and I wipe it down my face. No. I know what I've seen your type before. You do this just to give you some sort of semblance of relief. Ease of guilt. This is an attribute of faith. Prostitutes can do this if you pay them enough.
I think as you're saying these words, Dame Georgie, and you're wiping the blood on yourself, I think you need to make a night move.
I'm triggering a different move.
Okay.
Because I'm indulging in my vice and technically having the blood of a side character on me. This triggers the cleansing qualities of crimson.
Okay, go ahead.
I roll with presence,
Uh-huh.
and on a hit I can clear a condition and choose one from the list below. On 10 plus, I choose 2. So yeah, that's going to be an 8.
Okay.
I could choose I don't draw any unwanted attention, but I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to choose I will stumble upon the clue, tell the keeper what it is. The clue cannot conclusively answer the question by itself.
Okay. All right. Obviously it should be for Kilborn Abbey.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you don't have it right away, then go ahead and like stick clue in there, like, or your clue, Dame Georgie clue. So you know to fill that in soon.
Yeah, I think my clue is just sort of that this acts of penitence are being done in a sexual manner, like rather than trying to do it to please the Lord. If that's all right with everybody.
Okay. If you want to put that in as a clue, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I still think, though, that you have to roll a night move for this.
That's fair.
Because the demon is taking advantage, or is going to make its presence known and enjoying the display that both of you are giving it.
Mm-hmm.
So night move with composure, please. Unless you want, well, you tell me what's wrong, what will go wrong if you fail or lose your nerve.
In my excitement with this situation, I'm going to force the abbot into the hole. And I don't think that's a very good idea, considering that there's a demon nearby.
I think it's going to be worse, because even if the demon doesn't possess you, I think it's going to lean hard on your dark desires and perhaps have you take another drink of someone who is much more vigorous than Lady Abigail.
I'm assuming that I'm rolling at a disadvantage because both of my condition and my mixed result from earlier.
Yes.
Because I am inviting unwanted attention.
You are.
Despite everything, that's still a good roll. A 10.
Nice. All right. I think you start to hear whispers as you are goading the abbot and enjoying his humiliation and, of course, absorbing this blood and just like, kind of slaking yourself on your skin. But because of the 10, you tell me what you hear instead.
I think, thematically speaking, it would be very interesting to have like Liat's like and her scene just being up right above me. So I just sense it in the floorboards, in the stone as this demon is crawling around. Excited about how much it really doesn't have to do to influence these people, to get them to behave at their worst selves. And I think even with the sort of scratchiness of the little bits of faith sort of just fade away, and I am truly comfortable here in this space.
I'm just saying, ooh, how delicious. And because of that, I need to cut away to Sir Atticus and Rag and Ernest, like around, because it's like almost like being in Shoreditch is almost a breath of fresh air.
Probably the nicest thing anyone said about Shoreditch for a while.
Probably. Gods. Woo. Okay. So I think Rag is a little bit happier to be out of the house, out of Hargrave, away from Lady Abigail, even though you said he handled it well, which he's kind of proud about. And he'll say, well, it's like we can try checking in at the shop. Maybe not that it's going to be open, of course, but maybe somebody will know something of like having seen Patrick and stuff since then, since it was closed.
Is the song true, boy? First comes Patrick, about on paw and hoof. He thinks he's an animal and has since troubled youth. So has he thought himself a beast for years now?
You don't know the story then, do you?
Can't say I spent much time in Shoreditch, let alone London itself.
Oh. Yeah.
they were at least I got this from the priest that I think they used to go to one of the old chapels, and the priest had said that they were trapped in a cave-in, Mrs. Fig and the boys, and she had to do something to keep them all alive. She wanted to keep her boys alive, her family alive. And yeah, I think that's why they haven't been the same since.
An accident of some kind.
No. Well, the cave-in was, yeah. Well,
Yes.
she doesn't have an arm. She's missing her arm.
And likely something more if the father's song is to be true. Then to the shop. Ernest, my good man, are you coming with, or would you prefer to explore elsewhere in Shoreditch?
I think Ernest was just a step or pace or two behind you. And, full suit, cane, regalia. And when you turn around to address him, he's no longer there.
That answers that. I'm sure Ernest will find us if he needs us.
Like
So?
flipped like a ghost. Ugh.
Statement truer than most.
I think you go into the shop, and I think if you, of course, you got Rag with you, this is not a problem. So I think he takes care of the lock, and you make your way to the front of the shop. A few small tables and chairs are still here. There's the smell of grease and burnt flour, pretty much absorbed into the woodwork of this place. And there happens to be a plaster statue of a pig in a chef's hat here. Paint the scene for everyone. How do you know that this was a popular pie shop when it was open?
There is on a wooden pedestal, there's a little sign-in book, just sort of signatures of members from the community, and even beyond that, of people who just sort of put their name in and gives the figs well wishes.
The wooden floorboards of the front of the shop, you can tell, even though it's been kind of cleared through as the police moved things from side to side, but there is a well-worn path of where the line formed, and a lot of shuffling feet scuffing this trail that's very clearly to the cashier back.
Looking in from the outside, from the inside to the outside with the windows and stuff, you could just see handprints on it, just from peering on inside.
I think that there are just dozens of pewter mugs that have names carved at the bottom of them for the regulars. So you'd come in, and if you came often enough, they would have a mug with literally your name on it, and they'd pour you a pint along with the meat pie.
Very cool. And this is the space that you find yourselves in.
Cool. It's like it hasn't changed a bit, except, well, not open. I really don't think that Patrick means any harm, sir. I mean, he's always been, well, again, little titched since he was all little and they were trapped in that cave-in.
We can try and treat Patrick with as much dignity as possible, but if he's thrown aside his humanity, he is a beast. Perhaps one to be pitied, but a beast nonetheless.
If you say so, sir.
And yeah, you can make your roll here.
Investigation. This feels like a very normal place, but there has to be something that just feels a bit off. Is there any way that I could roll with sensitivity just to kind of vibe check the cannibal meat
know
shop?
What I'm gonna ask you for?
Drawing my sword and waggling it about.
Doing an Inigo Montoya.
Yes. which I believe this is the first time that Rag has seen me do this.
Yes, I'm not gonna hold it. I'm not gonna hold protege against you because he's just like, sir.
I mean, he is getting in the way of that.
All right, so I will roll with sensitivity. Let's go. Oh, that's a 9 on the dice plus 1, which is 10. Inigo Montoya strikes again.
Rag will see a gleam coming from the sword as you make your slow pass around the shop, and you let it guide your movement, and it guides you to behind the front counter where it will embed itself. You feel the pull, and then it will embed itself next to what looks like a small book of pressed flowers. And if you look inside the book, you will see the inscription on the inside cover. For my little sweet one.
Oh, that's really sad. Okay.
That is that clue. A small book of pressed flowers written on the inside cover. For my little sweet one.
I definitely want to keep investigating, especially if there's the upstairs and the basement.
Sure. I mean, and Rag will just make the comment. It's like, they really did make good pies. Don't know how many of them, or if all of them, had, human bits.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah. While I think about that, I'm going to head over to Ernest. We're going to finish with Ernest before we take our first break. Okay. Okay, Ernest, you have wandered away from Sir Atticus and Rag. Are you talking to people, or are you just kind of like nosing around, seeing what's about for possible shortage?
I think what actually happened was we passed a pub that seemed to be like way too hoppin' for this time of day, and it piqued my interest, and I decided to go in and investigate.
Okay.
Maybe I'm investigating a beer. Maybe I'm also chatting with people.
Okay. I think as you're making your way down the street, you see a few things. You see an aging man with a balding pate, and he seems to catch his reflection in one of the shop windows, and he looks stricken that his hair is thinning, and he's kind of like holding, doing that thing where like he holds like a bit of his midsection and just like kind of, like shaking his like bowl full of jelly a little bit out. And then you see further along down the street, as you make your way into the pub, you see a sailor's lips crack and bleed as they curve into a grin, which has a pair of missing front teeth. And then I think as you are going into the pub itself, you will see somehow across this very crowded, for this time of day and for this street, there's two young men looking at each other from across the room, and one's making his way out and the other one's making his way in to get some more grog, and the one going out is limping, and the other one that is going in to get another order looks like he has some blue-black bruises on his face, and they're winking at each other. Do you go and talk to anybody, or are you just kind of like looking around and observing?
I think Ernest is decidedly very overdressed for this. I mean, a very fine phase suit, and my Noah mask today actually is in this shape, unlike typically as an animal. It's just a man's mask face this time. I think that I might find more clues by eavesdropping then I will through conversation. So Ernest would like to pick the spot that is furthest down on the bar where he can see absolutely everything that's happening and quietly gesture to a bartender.
Let me ask you something. Are you wearing a suit that was made by that one fella? Yeah, okay.
Or the
So,
reward suit that I got from
yes,
the
yes,
resolution of the, yeah, it's perfect.
yes. Okay. I think, well, for funsies, since you're sticking out, go ahead and do a day move.
Okay.
This one is with composure as you make your way past all of these, rowdy, raucous men and making your way down this bar.
Composure is a +1, so I have an 8.
I'm going to give you a clue in the form of a complication.
Excellent.
I think what ends up happening is as you make your way down this bar, being very resplendent in your suit compared to all these working dudes. And, I think at a nearby table, there suddenly comes up a fight, or at least raised voices where, you take that back. I will not. It's like your ladies are slur. And the other one is starting to get furious. Like you start seeing the red creep up his collar. And then, you start seeing punches thrown. And these people are 3 sheets to the wind because you can see all the cups and mugs on their table. So there is a fight over a woman's honor. That is your clue, which is the complication, because now you cannot make your way down the bar because now there's a lot more people in this bar getting in on the fight. What do you do?
I want to channel every bit of my stage training and like Jackie Chan in his best movies or chefs that are moving in the same kitchen. I am literally doing everything to dramatically avoid, duck, and still make my way to a place where I can safely watch without actually brawling with any of these people.
Right. Okay. So that is your complication. I'm gonna say, let me see. Let me give you a condition. Can't think of the physical equivalent to this. So I'm just gonna put down harried, as your condition, as you're making your way down to the end of the bar. So you have did you ever see the movie World's End? Yeah, that whole bar scene where he's trying to get the mug of beer and it keeps on getting interrupted and he makes his way down the bar, but and still gets the beer, but then gets jostled and messed up and all that kind of stuff. I think by the time you get to the end of the bar, your suit is rather rumpled, possibly a little torn, but you do make it in one piece. Suit's not so great, but you are, so it's fine.
One piece, but only this much beer.
Yeah, that much beer. Yeah. I mean, in fact, you probably take, like bits from the mugs that are being thrown about because it's a mess. I think you find yourself settled down in the farthest point of the bar, like watching everybody go at it. And a bartender comes up to you, or the barman, and just goes, another day, another fight. And we're going to leave that for our break. All right, so we're back and we're going to swing back to Miss Kanan. You had, sorry.
Question.
Yes.
I'm currently being accosted by the demon, yes?
Correct.
Did I meet him last time? Because I know that he was watching me. That's why I got the condition.
Yep.
But I don't know if I actually met him. Or
you weren't formally introduced. I'm trying to remember.
Did I speak to it at all?
Yeah, I think you did. I mean, I feel, unless it was was that a thing that we decided to back up because of your role, or you took a mask or something? Because I feel like there was a thing where he had you in this darkness and he was talking to you.
So the reason I'm asking is because my custom move.
Okay.
But it's when I first encounter an inhuman entity. And
I mean,
just wanna
we
make sure
might have
that-
backed it up. I feel like, in that case, I feel like it consumed you, but then you did the mask and then we
Got it.
took that out.
Okay.
So you didn't quite formally meet,
Okay. So since we are meeting now, I would like to invoke my move.
Okay, so go ahead and read it off, please.
I will. So the move itself is called the Mother of Monsters. And it says that it should probably be on my page. So when I first encounter an inhuman sentient danger, I rolled presence. On a 7 to 9, they will agree to a civil meeting alone with me alone during the following day or night phase, your discretion. And during the meeting, I may ask them 2 of the following questions. We'll get into those questions later. After which, on a 7 to 9, you introduce a complication or condition. On a 10, I pick 3 and I take no conditions. But you have to provide at least 2 clues. And on a 12, I also get a mastermind clue. On a miss, though, the entity will rebuke my offer of diplomacy and immediately lash out. And any roles I have associated with this threat will be at disadvantage.
So much fun. Oh my gosh. Okay,
Go
but
ahead.
basically you're gonna roll, right? But then
Yes.
we won't necessarily like resolve until this particular phase or the night phase. Is that
So
what
the way I've worded it is following day or night phase. So if
Oh,
you want
following, okay.
it, if you want us to meet at this coming night phase, we can do
Mhm.
that. Or if you
Oh, sure.
think it would be more effective during the day, then it would just be the following day phase.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be the following night phase because it's like, I want to like kind of wrap up everybody else's before we hit
Yeah.
dusk and see if you guys want to answer any questions and
That's
stuff.
perfect. All right,
Yeah. Okay, so go ahead. Presence, right?
Yes.
Duh. Hold on, let me see. Just I should lean on you a little bit because you still got that condition and you are most beloved. So yeah,
All right.
you take most beloved, you gotta pay for it. Yes.
That's a 7.
Oh,
No,
You
I rolled
would.
like ass, but because I have a good, decent presence, I just edged out there.
got it. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. So that's a 7.
Yeah.
All right. So in this case, you would following meeting, civil meeting, and then we would
So yes, on a
2 keys, right?
No. So the way this works is that you can either provide. So I get to ask 2 questions of it.
Yeah.
You can provide me information or a clue. Your discretion.
Ah.
But only on a 10 plus am I guaranteed at least 2 clues.
Okay.
Um,
Alrighty. Cool.
But I also have to take a condition as a result of the meeting.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and tell me how you parlay a meeting as he's growling in your ear.
As I'm sitting there and I'm kind of like, I imagine there's like this like powerful scent of brimstone just sort of
Yes.
clouding this entire space between the 2 of us. And I see Brother Elijah's face sort of pressed against the screen as hard as it possibly can be. Like you can tell that he almost like he's just he's just a little bit away from just actually just breaking through it if he wanted to, but I think he's just sort of like pressed up against it. But anyway, I think that as he's doing this and he's sort of talking, I think I go just sort of coughing through the brimstone. No, be civil. I come to make you an offer.
What can you offer me?
Darling, I can offer you plenty. You have but to ask. However, we cannot meet here. You must behave yourself for the time being. At least towards me.
I accede. Where?
Hargrave House in Belgrave Square. Choose a body of your liking. Doesn't matter to me.
I am trying hard, so hard not to scream right now because it's so good. Oh my goodness. Anybody. And he says that too, or it says that too. It's like, anybody.
Yes, you will of course have to leave. Come, come after whatever time you choose to come. But just make sure you come.
You hear this, you feel this leer in the demon's presence when you say that. Liat. Come, I will.
She smiles at that and says, very good. Well, as you were then, I will see you soon.
And you feel the suffocation release as it's almost like whatever atmospheric pillows or heavy blankets were laid upon you, like lift, and then like light starts to stream back into the confessional. And you were saying that Brother Elijah's face and hands were pressed tight against the screen. And when he kind of drops away, like as if he's coming out of a dream, you see the imprint of the screen on his face and on his hands. What happened? I told you what I've done. I'm so sorry.
Yes, and you've been a very naughty boy. I must be
Yes.
going though. I don't know, 25 Hail Marys, whatever it is you do, and she'll take her things and just sort of scuttle out of the confessional booth.
Yeah, you don't see what happens to Brother Elijah. You just kind of leave him in the dust, basically. All right. Your condition is, I'm just going to put it like this: suffocating leer. Okay. That gave me chills. All right, great. Dame Georgie, when last we left you, you were down in the basement teasing Harry. I don't even know how to describe it.
Humiliating the abbot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just sort of not quite eavesdropping, but just taking notice that there is demonic entity above my head. That's fine. But no, the actual body of the girl isn't here, but there is the hole that she was recovered from, and I want to take a look inside, see how much room is in there, whether or not it's a room or was it a place to hide a murder. That's the
Information
question.
move, please. Yeah. How are you investigating? How are you?
With my eyes,
Okay,
I'm
so-
taking a look at the hole, just like peering
Okay.
in.
So you're being reasonable, basically.
I'm being reasonable for once.
For once. Yeah.
And my dice decide to be unreasonable. That's a 6.
Goodness so gracious.
Although homoerotic erotica that's in there, it's making me freak out.
Yeah, maybe that's appealing to your desires part rather. Well, man, it is still dark desire too, but I mean, like, it doesn't have to do with blood this time, amazingly enough. I think though you are susceptible because of what you just did with the abbot, humiliating him, like pretty much drenched in some blood. You've been reveling in this, and now you're just enjoying the feel. How does it taste? How do you breathe this in?
So you've come out having your little conversations, I suppose.
Taking your turn now.
Yes, yes. I imagine my compatriot is a wonderful conversationalist. Probably dismissed you until a later point, until she desires. She's not going to fulfill her end of the bargain, I can assure you that.
You desire to. What do you want?
Well, I just want to know why this place. This seems an odd place for one of you.
Perhaps I toy with these monks. This place that I live. But perhaps I soon will be free.
Oh, so something ties you here yet. You can't leave. Interesting.
I didn't say that. And you feel cold tendrils reach around your shoulders into your neck and cover your eyes. And in your brain, you hear, "You will help me leave."
Yeah, I'm gonna have
Might
this.
move.
Yeah. What am I afraid of? I'm afraid that I am going to be a force of destruction because the demon's not going to resist any of my desires.
Again, doubling down. Your dark desires is just leaving you way open. Could be fun.
Might be fun.
I mean,
I have an idea of if I do succeed on this roll of
Cool.
something.
Cool.
I will DM you this idea just to
okay.
because it's
Even more
malicious.
fun.
It's
Okay.
malicious.
Because it's the demon, I'm going to say sensitivity. So
yeah.
I would have originally said composure, but it's a demon, man.
Yeah, it's a demon, of course. I'm trying to. I'm
And
assuming
disadvantage.
disadvantage. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not even going to say how it's worse. I think we know how it's going to be worse.
As it's sort of covering my face, sort of like a mask. I think I'm just fumbling around with my pockets and whatnot, and I pull out my own mask to try to just scrape it off my face, to just like so it's not entirely inside of me. It can hitch a ride, but on my terms.
Interesting. This almost sounds like a sense of wills, battle of wills.
Yeah.
So
I'm marking a mask that's in my personal quarters.
okay.
A Venetian mask painted with crescent moons and stars. The world appears more colorful through its eyes, but it may cause temporary blindness if worn too long. So regardless, I may not be able to see what this outcome. So this is fun.
Yes, compounding. All right, great. Go ahead.
Just out of 10.
All right. You succeed in what you do. You prevent the demon from really hooking in the tendrils and turning it into almost near hentai. So tell me how this works. That you prevent the demon from getting a tentacle hold.
I think this demon just locks off to like onto my shoulder. And I'm like, of course. You could hitch a ride. I don't want you being in this place any more than I want to myself to be here, but can't have you causing destruction along the way. But this could be a bit of fun. And you do like having fun, don't you?
All you hear as an answer is a laugh, a deep, throaty, growly laugh that is not only resonating around you in the air, but also in your bones. I would say with that 10, it's like, you got a demon hitch. Take that as the condition. Demon hitchhiker. Let's go over to another breath of fresh air with Sir Atticus and Rag. You are at the shop.
We're looking around this pleasant meat shop. It's been recently closed. It's open for renovation though, which will be great. Jeez, this is a mood whiplash. I would like to go up to the living quarters, which we've expressed previously as being super cozy.
Yeah. I'm going to say that when you do head up to the living quarters, which is, again, like, does not even give a hint at the cannibal or the sinister undertones of the figs. All it shows is like the loving family stuff, like their painting and then all that kind of stuff. Strangely, though, the audience might remember from last time that one of the traps was activated. It is nowhere in sight right now. It is
So
as pristine.
unaware.
It is right. It is pristine as when Georgie first came up there.
Exactly what I was hoping for.
Mm.
I mean, Atticus has absolutely no reason to believe that someone would be as audacious enough to booby trap their own house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who'd think it? Who
No.
would think it?
That's insane. Especially not a group of bakers. Are you kidding me?
Right.
So I would like to, again, investigate with sensitivity with the obvious consequence of triggering this trap again. This trap that, as we stated last time, was specifically built for somebody of Atticus's height.
Well, okay. So you're in the front room. I mean, you see like the cozy chairs and all this kind of stuff. And then I think, again, like La Hortensia was in one of the bedrooms looking in a closet, and then she had activated it from there.
Okay.
And then, I mean, like you still have Rag with you too. So it's almost like a dungeon delve because it's like, it looks nice, but conceivably you could search around and such up here.
I mean, if Rag wants to roll to detect traps, sure, but Atticus is going to live his best fighter life and just go ahead.
In this case, I want you to give me an information, because it's like, again, you're trying to find shit around here.
Yeah.
How are you trying to find shit around here? You're obviously not talking to anybody besides Rag, so that's not it.
Again, the Inigo Montoya swinging my sword around, trying to find something. I know I came here for Patrick, but I'm slowly coming around to like hints of what La Hortensia is
right.
looking for.
I think this portrait, I think when we mentioned it last time, I think in the portrait you see they had that portrait done before she lost her. Well, no, you know what? Because of the boys being more grown in the picture, I'm going to say that it was done after their cave in and they're being trapped. So you will see in the picture that she is missing an arm.
Yeah. But they probably arranged it so like the boys were in front, so it isn't
kind of
obvious. Yeah,
it's not that
they
obvious.
maintain dignity.
But Rag would point out, it's like you can see there, Patrick's in front of her. He's hiding her missing arm.
Did they dote on her often?
Yeah, I mean, she was wonderful. I mean, she would feed me every so often, and she would like tell me stories. She was a real mother. Yeah.
Do you want a family life, Rag?
I don't know if that's for me. I mean, just I'm relying on myself all this time. Barely remember.
Sorry.
I mean, like, you just barely remember being with anybody that took care of me. I mean, just kind of flit from one place to another, right? And sleep in stoops and, take a, few dips in a pocket here and there and
get what I need. That's it.
Is that something that you'd like to continue doing? I know that the whole Hargrave House thing has been rather impromptu.
Well, it's kind of a life adventure, isn't it? I mean, taking out monsters or seeing strange things. I mean, it's like a very, I don't know, very adventurous life. I wouldn't mind trying it. Besides, you said you were gonna find me a little one of those. And he points at the burden.
If you're up for it. And I'll kind of hesitate on the portrait for a bit, but you will see terrible things too. You will see the depths that people will go to when they stop being people.
So you're saying people will be monsters too?
Yes, boy. It is not an easy road.
Do I have to decide? I mean, are you going to send me away?
The longer you stay in Hargrave House, the more dangers you'll come across. You were able to survive the lady, fair enough. But I imagine that there would be other traps, other dangers. If it's something that you wish to pursue, then I would be more than happy to adopt you into my family. But it is, I say with a chuckle, a bit of a burden.
You bring me into your family?
The Wellington-Hughes name does not mean much to me. And if adopting you would be a measure of kindness, as much as danger, I would be willing to offer it to you. But you must agree with full visibility, Rag. It will be dangerous. There will be monsters. And it is not an easy life.
It's a heady thing to be wanted, sir. I mean, and your companions and the other people in the big house, they don't seem to want me there. But I think I have to think about it.
Yes. But I want to give you the option, Rag. And I want it known that it is not something that is forced upon you. If you are not interested, Rag, I would most certainly be able to find you a safe place to stay. There is an abbey that I'm familiar with. I could call in a favor and make sure that you would always have a safe place to sleep and warm food to eat. But it would not be the same path that I am there.
Used to be my biggest dream to be able to have just a comfy place to sleep and food when I needed it. And now I'm not sure that's all I want. And he kind of shakes himself but we're here right now. We're trying to look up, we're trying to find some evidence of Mrs. Fig and Patrick, and we've got a job to do, yeah?
Fair. A very fair point, Rag. And, well, if I were a wiser man, I would be able to deduce rationally where I would be able to find a clue. I must, unfortunately, lean upon the tools that I've been given. The burden that I bear.
Is that one of the things that I have to learn? Waving the sword about and twirling in the air? I mean...
It's more of an adaptation. You are young enough to be educated. Unfortunately, Wellington-Hughes III lacked faith in my ability to learn. And with that, I would like to investigate with sensitivity, please.
Okay.
Let's go. Oh, that is not good. That's not good at all.
What did you get?
I got a 3 and a 2, and then adding the 1 makes that a 6. I would like to mark a mask, please.
Wow. You didn't even get to the part of like where it goes wrong. I love it.
I mean, that's a complete miss on an investigate. And would you like to please explain how bad it goes? Because I mean, if it's a David, whatever, I'll just take the consequence. But
I'm just gonna say it that you find another trap accidentally
okay.
that sends you both out of the house. Not in a good way. Not in a good way. Okay. So that's all I'm gonna say about it.
You know what? I'm willing to let the failure roll.
For Christmas sake.
No, he's got a point. He's got a point.
Hit the ejector seat. Mads, I'm coming into this season with half my masks moved, and I don't think Dr. Noble is gonna show up to like give me a safety blanket, okay?
Oh, don't tempt me. And it doesn't have to be Dr. Noble.
Atticus is gonna hold up rag like there's a child here. Do not endanger this poor young rag. He is but a boy.
Stuck him into yours, tuck and roll.
Honestly, Atticus would tuck and roll and make sure that rag was safe if you
Oh,
wanted
sure.
like that. But like,
okay, so what happens is I think you and your wavy sword thing going on, like instead of bringing you to something simple like a book or something like that, rolling with a miss. Oof. I'm going to say that you will move the pull of the sword again, but it kind of sticks itself in the wall, and you hear, as it sticks itself in the wall, you hear chunk, chunk,
oh, that's not good.
and it's like you hear gears turning, and where you stand, you will suddenly feel like the floor come out from underneath you as the panel slides away and down, and then it creates just a slide that goes right out the house, but in a very convoluted manner.
Ooh, can I make another suggestion instead? Could it just drop me into a precarious situation in the murder basement?
Yeah, you and the kid can just fall into the pile of meat down there.
That seems adequately horrifying.
You went from the cozy place to the not so cozy place. So sure, that's what happens, because he was like following you along, and so I think he got caught in the panel trap as well. So
he's like, oh, maybe they're not. He's like, oh, maybe they're not so bad. Immediately into the murder basement.
Yeah, he didn't. I mean, he wasn't. He like maybe he was fed by them, but maybe down in the shop, so he didn't see any of this stuff. So I mean,
now he gets to see where the pies get made.
Yeah.
How the sausage is made.
Really? Where you just
bro.
Oh my god. And the like basically the slide tunnel that you find yourself in, like first it's okay, like just kind of like tin sheets and whatever, but they get a lot messier and more battered as you get further down towards the basement. And there's stuff clinging to the walls.
Is it like a spinny tie kind of thing?
Yeah.
Sure.
And
you get
just
I think you're actually out in the I think you actually plop out into the killing corner.
Yeah, probably. That makes sense.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, come over for dinner. Have a nice time. Get dropped into the murder basement at the end of the evening. Like, All right. I don't exactly like the implications we have here for the things.
I mean, again, it's...
Well, we know that they didn't want him to cause pain. It was just sort of,
Yeah, no, make him a bit sleepy, give him a nice meal.
Yeah. feed them a lot of turkey so they've got a lot of tryptophan in their system.
Really? The figs are murdering people with the itis? Are you kidding me?
No, it's just Ober waiting at the bottom of the slide with
Yeah.
his knife held at a certain height.
Like
Oh,
it's
man,
like a children's slide with a guillotine. Just
they have a system for it. That's horrifying.
So
like any
basically,
good abattoir, you know.
oh my God. So anyway, yeah, I mean, if you are running with this miss, I mean, that's basically what happens. I mean, like you find yourself down the murder slide.
Yep.
Into a pile of recent.
I now need to deal with the orphan protege being covered in gore and detritus. That is a problem all its own.
I think he says, as you plop into this stuff, I think he says, I didn't want a bath before, but now I feel like I need one.
Oh, lad, just make sure none of it got in your mouth. It's this is not good.
Yeah. If you're gonna run with this, I'm gonna basically say that it's going to be where, you know, I'm gonna cut away and then we're gonna finish off Ernest, and then you guys will make your way out of the fix.
I'm fine like being completely out for the
Sure.
rest of day phase. Just like,
yeah.
kid, we're done. We're going home. Are we gonna investigate? No, we're done.
Atticus thought the rats were bad enough. Guess what?
No, I
Nope.
think I taste some like 3-day-old like cannibal meat. We're done here. We're leaving.
Yep. All right. So, Ernest, yeah, you find yourself at the end of this bar watching the fight. I mean, not everyone is into the fight though. You know, they've the initial table like is going at it, and then maybe a few others around them have piled in, but some of them are actually still sitting there talking over their drink and kind of making bets now about who's gonna win the fights. And the barman's just like, another day, another fight. Ugh. Well, at least we get paid enough to clean this up. What can I get you?
Well, I tried to manage my pint, but unfortunately I've been jostled. A beer.
Here it is. And he takes the mug that you have and then we'll top it off. And then
I would like to conspiratorially lean over and say, is this one of those bout clubs I keep hearing about?
Shh. You're not supposed to talk about bout club. Ah, I said it. Shh, you didn't hear me say it.
No, of course not. Sorry. No, this thing that we won't actually mention.
That thing. Yeah.
That thing.
We didn't
And I,
mention it.
point over.
We didn't mention a thing. Shh.
And
it isn't. That's gonna be held over at the Whitechapel. It's supposed to be a church soon, but luckily they haven't consecrated the ground yet. They're gonna be some consecrating with some blood later on, yeah.
It sounds fantastic.
You gonna go fight? I don't think you should be wearing that if you're planning on bouting.
No, I'm just a degenerative gambler. But could you maybe
appreciate
point
that.
me to where I could some of these lads look like they could, oh, not that one, but there must be a bookie nearby. Is it you? The one of them?
Well, I'd be one of the ones who will go to the fight, cheer them on, but the possibility of going up against the Slugger, I'm not too rich for my blood. And
I
to
have
pay in
heard-
blood.
I have heard just ghastly rumors about the size of him. Does he frequent this place?
Oh no. It's almost like they keep him hidden until he's ready to go. They soften some of the new folks in. And then if they make it through maybe a couple of the fights, then they'll face off against the Slugger himself. And that
I
is,
heard that once he fought a bear and won.
that was a rumor. One started by the bear himself. Like furry fella, would like has all sorts of like very hirsute and just you swear he was wearing a pelt, but that was actually him growing out of his own back.
Oh, that's very disappointing.
Yeah, he was big, but not that big. Not as big as the Slugger. Oh no.
I'm assuming that you're going for an information move with presence at this point.
At some point, yes, but I think that having made friends with this man. No, I will do an information move.
Okay. But he does tell you at some point, it's like
If you don't say anything about it, I won't either.
wink.
Of course not. Put an extra silver on the counter.
Awesome. All right. So yeah, information move with presence. I don't think you have any conditions that will affect it.
My deja vu is showing, I think, but
I'm gonna say no. And your harried actually is fine. Like I won't hold it against you because at least by being messed up, you're not like, coming off as like, some haughty toff that's looking down at them. You're actually
such
like
language.
part of the gang,
All right. Presence. Don't know. It's been a minute with this character. Hang on.
He's a writer and a talker, I think.
Yeah, presence is +2.
Okay.
That is a 13.
Oh, well, 13, eh?
11 + 2. Yes, that is a 13. I can do math.
Okay. So tell me what you're trying to find out first. Like, do you ask him something specific or you're just trying to wrangle like, more rumor stuff out of him?
He's seen the Slugger fight. So I want to pick his brain really hard to feel out like what supernatural shit might be happening that he might not recognize, but I would. So I want him to talk about the weird shit.
The weird shit. Okay.
The weird shit. Yeah. This is kind of strange. I mean, maybe it's just something I notice, but I will say that whenever we're getting ready to go to a new location for the bout club. You didn't hear me say it. I didn't say it. You didn't say a damn thing. Every time we go to a new location, it seems that no women can approach for the day before. They can't. I've seen them. Even if it's near something like a shop or even a dress making thing, they can't get near it. That church that we're supposedly going to tonight. I've seen some of the washerwomen try to pass by. They have to go round by at least a couple of blocks to be able to get to where they're going. It's like they can't approach. And that happened at the last location too.
So you're telling me that you've seen a woman walk and then run into some sort of invisible force?
No, it's not like she went boom and then she hit her head. I mean, it's more like she would go towards it and then stop and literally turn and make her way around the building. Like she couldn't even like get within I don't know, carriage distance away, not even.
And that is your clue. Women seem to be
Mhm.
magically repelled from a particular location.
Well, I appreciate you not talking to me about any of this. And Ernest
We said
gives-
nothing.
Absolutely nothing, as he tops you off with another
Mhm.
beer.
Ernest will wink, turn their focus back to the dining room, and see who's come up on top.
The person who initially said the slur looks like he's coming up on top, and then like you see the people closest to you like starting to wave, like starting to trade some bills around, or pound notes. Sorry.
Delightful.
Delightful. All right, we're gonna close out of that scene. All right. Yeah. Oh, and so I'm gonna save the mastermind clue for when it's more appropriate later, because there's so much shit that's gonna have to happen for Night Phase. Which is why Night Phase always seems to have to start a section, because there's so much shit. Oh gods. All right, so we're gonna go into Dusk Phase. Give me a second. Any playbook moves or custom moves that are resolved during Dusk Phase?
Yep.
Yep.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing? I've got the cosmic passage that I gotta roll.
I'm doing deliciously well. Go ahead.
Oh boy. Okay. Come
Feed
on.
me.
No, please. I do not desire an additional condition. Thank you. Oh, that is so much worse than a condition. That is an absolute miss of a thing.
A thing. What
Um,
did you do?
The cosmic passage doesn't have anything listed for a miss.
Oh, it's a keeper reaction. Yay me. Yay me.
Dusk falls. I attune to the beast. What happens, Matt? So I know whether or not I have to mark a mask.
Your connection to the beast has grown.
You don't even
I
know
think
what the beast is.
you're seeing through the beast's eyes.
Okay.
And it's like, kind of like that crystalline, like, edging to your vision. But you know you're seeing through the beast's eyes because you can see the claws in front of your face as they're heading towards down some hallways, down some, like in what looks like a warehouse, but there's like a bunch of hallways down this, and it's going quite fast.
Okay.
It's speeding past these walls that look very sterile, very, very dim, but the beast has its own way of sighting and seems very intent. You can hear the snuffling of breath. You can hear like it's growls, guttural sounds, whatever sounds it makes. You can hear and feel and smell. There's a smell to this. You can see where it's going. And it seems to be tracking something or someone. And I think it finally makes its way to an office, or what looks like an office door. And it will look into what looks like a partition window. And you see the back of a woman with close cropped brown hair, writing at a desk, looking outside of a window, not seeing what lays outside of her office door. She's all in black, and she's wearing calfskin gloves.
Yeah, I think I would like to mark a mask to prevent the beast from murdering my sister, please.
Have at it. You tell me what mask you use.
I would like to mark the darkened threshold.
Honey. Okay. Darkened threshold. Narrate a scene where you kill an innocent for the sake of the hunt. You don't have to do it now.
Yeah.
When it's narratively appropriate, of course, but
And I will adjust the hunt marks appropriately.
yes.
Um,
Good point, Ernest. murdering this version of your sister.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. We're not making distinctions here. Okay.
Who knows which version it is? You don't know. It's just
Who knows?
Who
But
knows?
I will take bloodthirsty. Since and I will have advantage on the next move. So
Sure. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, paint the scene. Hargrave House. Since we were talking about cozy earlier. The salon. What do you see in this room that makes it the most comfortable spot in the house? In the entire house. And don't forget to put it in rooms at Hargrave House. In that tab.
There are 3 very handsome, very muscular men waiting for me when I get home. Olive skin, looks like they're probably from Greece.
do they do anything, or do they just chill in their room?
Well, they chill in the room until I get there, and then we go to my room. Well, I mean, we spend some time in this lawn. obviously.
Okay, all right, okay. Georgie, Ernest, do you have any ideas on what makes a cozy room?
Well, before Miss Liat had introduced her very handsome entourage, as it were, the room is fairly secluded from the rest of the house. It's meant to be sort of an offset from like the entry hall, sort of like there's things on the wall leading there to dampen the noise, so it feels pretty isolated, and it's sort of to welcome guests into Hargrave House without finding out what Hargrave House's business is about. So it's comfortable, it smells clean, and it's significantly less cursed.
Significantly less cursed.
Less cursed than what?
The rest of Hargrave.
I think
This is a fine
additionally, I can't win. Oh, wait. So I think additionally, there are, instead of the typical dainty, like chaise fainting couches, there are instead sturdy, plush, leather, upholsteried, like single oversized chairs placed back to back throughout the room. So depending on how the men find themselves to be most comfortable waiting for Liat. But it's the kind of chair that as you sit down, you can hear the air breathe out around you as you kind of like settle in.
Cozy chairs were weighted on hand and foot by very handsome men. It's secluded. It's like the late 1800s, right? We have phonographs during that time, right?
Yes.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, sure.
It's particularly their wax cylinders.
Oh, okay. I think that there is a massive library of different bits of music that are always playing, managed by the very handsome men. They have mood music, they have the ambiance, they have a diverse set of acoustic tunes for you to, relax to. Chill beats to hunt at Hargrave House too, you know what I mean?
The most lo-fi beats.
Each player will say what their hunter will be doing during the upcoming night phase. Although, as we have always done, let's take a look at the threats, because that always seems to affect what you guys end up doing during night phase. Yay us. Okay, so for Figs Pigs, you have 3 clues on the board for 2 questions, each a complexity 2. Sorry, that can't be resolved anymore. Demon of Kilborn Abbey, you have actually 5 clues. Minimum complexity question is 6, and then the other one is an 8. So, and then Shortage Slugger, Shortage slugger. Okay, where does the power come from? I think. Yeah. What's the source of the shortage slugger's superhuman strength? That's complexity 2. You happen to have 2 clues. And then there's also what is the shortage slugger's weakness, which is a complexity 6. So obviously you may want to build up a little bit more for that. Or roll on negatives, have some fun here, because that's what we seem to be about in Stars and Suns. So yeah, anybody want to answer a question or try to figure out how to parlay some stuff?
I would personally like to wait on a demon.
Okay.
I'd like to have that conversation with the demon before
Oh,
we
yeah.
try to answer.
Sure.
I mean, are you actively encouraging us to roll at 0 or a negative to resolve?
I'm not
the threat?
actively encouraging a thing. I am just saying that you can, because
I mean, we could answer the first question of the slugger, which is what is the source of the slugger's superhuman strength?
Oh, really? We can already answer that? Oh, complexity
Yeah.
2.
Yeah,
Complexity
so
too.
maybe a flat roll.
And both clues seem to deal with the idea of femininity in women. So maybe there's something there.
We have enough clues to answer La Hortensia or Patrick's situation for Figs too.
Oh, I actually kind of have an idea for Patrick.
Good. Do the clues help? Because I could
I
use them for
hopefully.
La Hortensia. if
I
they
was
don't
thinking La
line up.
Hortensia too, but
Oh, okay. Well, I'll if it wants to put up the theory first, I will wait.
Sarah, do you have an idea?
Well, I love the idea that she lost a daughter.
That's what I was going for too.
Mhm.
All right.
That's much better than mine.
I
Mine was that I thought Patrick was a bee.
a bee?
Aw.
A bee?
Oh man,
There's a small book of
Trophy has
pressed
crept into the
flowers
game.
for his sweet one. He's into
Oh my
infatuation.
gosh, that's amazing.
Patrick legit rolls up on Hargrave House like you like jazz. Like, bro.
No, I think
Oh.
Sarah's idea of it being related to a daughter is much more sound.
Yes,
Yeah.
much more sound. I like that too. Holy shit. Oh,
Not
Her
the
daughter
bees.
was
sorry,
a
I had to do
bee,
it.
right? Like,
Okay.
Because the carefully folded bundle of long blonde hair, the small book with those pressed flowers for my sweet one, even the scraps of clothing gathered into a nest. We don't have to use that clue if we want to keep it because of Patrick, but
Maybe we
it
could use
could
it.
be that those could be baby clothes, could be a confirmation gown that's been shredded and then repurposed in this way.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Do it. Roll at the +1. Let's go.
Yeah.
I said, hot damn. My dice love me. That is a +1 is a 10.
Nice.
Very brilliant. Okay. So answer the question. La Hortensia is a 10. Brilliant. Okay. So now you could conceivably, resolve, or I should say, take, capture or destroy La Hortensia as you will with the 10. You'll succeed for sure. And that is the answer to the question. She's trying to recapture or remember her daughter. Wow.
Put the solution in the notes so that we can remember
Yes.
it next time.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So you got that one down. Yay. Did you want to do that with Shortage Slugger?
I mean, I'm fine waiting, but I just know, I know it's a complexity too, and there's also those clues seem to point to a feminine energy. But
Sure.
I don't know
What
how
is-
that would be distilled into the answer.
Yeah, maybe
Source of.
get one more clue
Yeah.
before we try that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like-
because answering the question, we have to figure out how to siphon off some of the energy.
Yeah. Subvert the source. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would suggest waiting until you had more. And of course, yeah, just one way of answering the question for Demon of Kilborn Abbey, although you do have the minimum needed, which is
Yep.
only half of the complexity. So you just be rolling with a -1, only with a -1. But
Well, no, if we wanted the 8, we would be rolling with a -3.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't know whether you wanted the 8 or not. I mean, like, I thought that was a debate. I thought
No,
there was
no. We're
question.
killing this thing. We're killing this thing hard. It has hitched a joyride onto Georgie. It has insulted Liat. Like, this thing has got to go.
I haven't insulted Liat. She's gonna have tea with it later.
Uh-huh.
Be fine.
Okay.
I'm thinking that this is going to be a source of discord between characters, how to resolve it. So I would suggest like figuring that out first before you,
Yeah, sure. So I did actually have like a kind of a flimsy theory, and I'm totally fine waiting on another clue first, the first question to shortage. But my idea was that, again, both of these codes are related to women. I think that like only a femme person is able to tap into that energy, or at least extract it. And that they've been setting up these wards against femme folk to like keep them from tapping into that strength. It's sort of like a sign of misogyny within the group.
So wait, are you saying that like women are legit gains goblins in terms of like sapping their strength?
They can be like, maybe whatever's powering them is it's feminine in nature. It's part of some maybe like feminine energy that we don't really understand quite. But I think that the men are trying to guard it and hoard it for themselves. Maybe they stole it from sort of like feminine deity or feminine entity, and they're like keeping it to themselves. And so they've put up like wards to keep women away, or femmes from like tapping into that energy.
So this was originally feminine power, but they are shoehorning it for their fight club.
Yes, they stole it from some feminine energy source and are keeping it contained to themselves. Again, totally fine waiting for another clue if you want to do that, but that was just top of my head.
Yeah, I think that we probably need to like see Bout Club first before we answer this question, because I think that will give a lot more insight to the threats.
Okay.
Ernest would very much like to go to Bout Club tonight if we are declaring our night intentions, because A, don't think I want to, as a player, be in Hargrave House tonight, but also B, that is where he is most interested at the moment.
Okay, so hold on. Ernest is going to Bout Club. Who else is going to Bout Club, if anybody?
So we answered La Hortensia, but is
Correct.
that resolved?
No.
Or,
You
okay.
like the
You have to go find
threat.
her.
Yeah, the threat is only fully resolved once all of the figs are either destroyed or captured.
So
or
we need to still
taken care of in
capture
some
La
way.
Hortensia.
And Patrick. But you have to answer each of the questions in turn to be
Okay.
able to allow that particular part of the threat to be resolved at night. You can only resolve at night.
Then I
And
think
the whole threat is not resolved until the last fig is captured or destroyed or taken care of.
then I think Atticus is going to go after La Hortensia.
Okay. All right. So Sir Atticus, Dame Georgie, or Miss Kinnon?
Well, I have a date to keep, of course.
With whom?
Being a demon's carriage has a lot of responsibility.
So will this be a double date, so to speak?
I mean, it depends on if you bring someone else, because, well, I'm
So
already
it's-
bringing someone.
So it'll be a threesome?
Wait a second. Oh, wait. Whoa. Like, back that stuff up. Not the threesome part. I don't care. I mean, but I'm talking about who are you bringing?
Well, no, because I did my move, and so I get the conversation with the demon.
Yes.
And so that's what I was planning on doing.
But Dame Georgie is the carriage that will bring the demon to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I mean. So we're gonna have like not an actual threesome, but it's just like be a three's company.
You don't know. The demon could be like really into kink. Who knows?
mean,
The
that's
demon's
what-
wearing a Georgie suit.
Okay, got it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Could be
Find
fun.
yourself a host. Georgie shows up. This is not what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he already tried the hosting thing, and it's like doesn't help when you run out on your own party, man. All right. Yeah. Okay. That's gonna be fucking hilarious. God, I love this stuff.
Be fun, chaotic.
It's
Oh,
gonna be fun.
It's fun.
Oh my God, so much fun. All right, give me a second. I wanted to look one thing up before. Okay, back to the hunters. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, pretty much got everybody's intended for night phase. And then for Janus masks, I have Ernest with one mask of the past and Sir Atticus with darkened threshold. I don't know if you want to do that now or wait until it's more narratively appropriate.
I'm holding mine.
I can narrate it now, if you'd like.
You sure? You don't have to. I'm just
I don't
offering.
have to.
Well, I mean,
You don't have to.
want to resolve it, yeah. Or you can wait until dawn phase. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, we can wait until dawn phase. I have an idea of what I'd like to do.
Sure.
But it's a bit early.
Okay. And then Ernest, you can do the same thing. You can hold until dawn. Okay. Oh boy. All right. It's not in there right now, but I think it's very, very appropriate considering I owe you a mastermind clue that I bring in one of the other mastermind unseens. Give me a second. I want to pick one.
Masterminds have unseens?
Yes, they do.
Some
So this-
masterminds.
Yeah. Just as a note, though, on time, we've only got about
Yes.
6 minutes, and I
Yeah.
have to head out.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it before I'm not going to do it fully, obviously, because I have to enter it into the unseen thing. All the lost children. Tonight, an angel claiming to be from the dark side of the moon, a boy who never grew up, hoodwinks unfortunate children from the streets of London into joining him as pawns in a magical land of violence and adventure. So first prompt is going to go to, hopefully the next time we play, everybody's here. First prompt is going to go to Jack. Second prompt is going to go to Sarah. Third prompt is going to go to Chaotic. Last prompt is going to go to Mike. Okay, and I will enter that before next time. So given that, we're closing out tonight's session. I will owe the mastermind clue. I always find them like easier to put in as a stinger scene at the end of the cycle. And so let's go for a quick stars and wishes. Okay, stars, what you liked about the session, the gameplay, blah, 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 each other, and wishes, what you want to see for next time or the future.
Jack, you've got the hard stop. Do you want to go first?
Sure, yeah. Stars. This is a cute little session. Had fun. Thank you for entertaining my custom move. Ernest, I'll start just from like right to left. Ernest, or at least Sarah, you've got like a really great delivery with quips. Like it feels very like natural off the tongue. And I like the back and forth between this like really oblivious dullard of a fucking bartender. And you just sort of suffering through it, powering through it. Was really funny to watch. Oh damn. My wish is just to see how we handle a conversation between us where you're not actually you. It's gonna be very interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah, very excited about that. And I guess if there's any like concerns that you have or anything like that, just let me know, and obviously let Mads know so we can like have it taken care of before. But I'm excited for it nonetheless. And yeah, he's a little weasel, weirdo. It's like watching this priest, this abbot, flagellate himself and just sort of like prodding him to do more. I was like, okay. I mean, I'm not mad at it, but it's a little creeper. Our pillar of sanity and respectability. Who knew Sir Atticus would be that? I didn't, but
Neither did I.
he's apparently our moral compass now, which is nice. I no longer feel that burden on myself this season, which is great. It was a lot to deal with last time. So thank you for taking that load on. But no, just like I love the like scene of you just like jumping down into the death pit with this young kid. Like this is sort of like this is your initiation into the world of into my world. Like get into it. I thought it was fun. I probably have some more stars, but thank you, Matt, for doing it. And I'm excited to see what happens next time. Also, a really good idea with the theory on the dead daughter.
I can do some rapid fire stars. Up top, the like butterfly crucifix that came out of nowhere at the top, where like it was a pop out sort of knife from the scene with Rag. I really just found that to be adorable, because now I'm thinking of like, okay, how much else is Sir Atticus wearing that isn't what it seems to be? Start poking things. The number of eyeballs chaotic that you put into the fucking chat in this game while that was happening, just a star for that. I liked the Inigo Montoya move. That was really not something I had seen as a player before. And for me, I have very specific Princess Bride memories. I'll tell you guys all about it off camera. Bringing the demon to Hargrave House for your meeting for your move, Jack, was excellent. I can tell that you as a player like to stir shit just as much as I do. Yep, star for the murder slide, star for demons carriages. There was a really beautiful moment in that like heartfelt adoption speech that Sir Atticus was giving inside of this cannibal's cozy house about how, well, you know, if you do stay at Hargrave House, there are going to be a lot of traps and dangers. And then immediately into that failure in which you fall into the trap, it just star for Kismet, I guess. It really worked out great. So wishes, I am excited to see Bout Club. I am excited to just continue more of this. I have no other wishes than that.
Yeah, I gotta give a star for just the thematic parallels this sort of session a bit between like what's going on in the Abbey of like, oh, like Liat is going things kind of above board and going to confession, as it were, whereas Dame Georgie was like, yeah, I'm having fun in the basement right there in doing shenanigans. Compared being cross-referenced between a very heartfelt scene of like dealing with like adopting Rags and just wonderful feeling moment, and then Ernest, who's like, oh yeah, let's have a drink at the bar and watch this fight go on. We're having a good day, good wholesome
Ernest
day.
likes to watch. What can I say?
Mm-hmm. Wishes, I'm looking forward to the demonic date that's gonna happen next session. It's gonna be interesting. Also, I'm looking forward to whatever shenanigans Sir Atticus gets up to. Because there's gonna be a lot.
Whoa, I'm just gonna go talk to a lady about like losing her daughter. It's very clean, it's very straightforward, nothing bad is gonna happen. Right.
I do actually look forward to that as a star, and I do wish, just because I I know that you can bring sort of an emotional maturity to things like that, and you know, with the 10, it's it's not going to be super dangerous. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, like Mads, thank you for giving the opportunity to be that sort of like older, more mature Atticus compared to young, like I'm here to murder everything Atticus. Also elegantly providing an opportunity to address the whole, hey, do you guys know that there's just like a spare vampire hanging out in Hargrave House? Who knows how it got here? I wonder if it's going to eat the small orphan child. I'm glad we were able to address that at the top of the session. I think it was very well done. Thank you for that opportunity. Other stars, the wombo combo of our immortals going into this church. Liat, the more mature immortal, having a confessional and then just dismissing it at the end of it. Just like, I got what I want, dude. Like some Hail Marys or whatever. I don't know. I don't pay attention to this religion. Wish, kind of want to figure out if Liat did the religion thing at one point and just like had a bunch of worshipers, and I was like, the religion bit isn't for me. Just give me the whole adulation thing and we'll call it even. At the same time, Georgie flexing yes, I'm immortal. I am beyond you. And at the same time, kind of just like, is this working? Is this how you are like a sassy immortal? And the demon just being like, yes, you are doing exactly what you should be. You should let me hitch a ride. And Georgie's like, yes, this seems like a good idea. Why not? It was fun. It was fun to see sort of like this comparison between the two immortals and their maturity and familiarity with, being the center of attention. Ernest, watching a bar fight unravel is the best word that I have right now. And then deciding, yeah, I'm going to channel Jackie Chan and I'm going to just strut through it at the hopes of getting a drink for myself because gosh, I'm thirsty, and actually pulling it off. The audacity, Sarah, is like magnificent. Like, it is a very earnest thing to do, very extra, especially since the bartender since you stated that you were wearing like this perfect elegant suit, couple of tears, couple of scrapes, whatever. You can find someone to like fix those, but no beer, minimal beer. I think you said verbatim. It was good. What else? Another star was just like the adoption scene. I know I'm kind of hammering it home of the whole like, hey, I'm okay with you being my protege, but like I also want you to go in fully knowing that there's a lot of baggage that goes with this kid. And I think Chaotic was right. The immediate like, yeah, there's a lot of trouble, immediately sliding into a bunch of gore. Sorry, kid, this comes with the job. I want to see more of that. Wish is also just to be able to resolve that for Rag, whether Rag feels comfortable joining the family, so to speak, or Atticus has to pull a couple of strings with the Abbey and say, not the demon infested Abbey, but like another one, and just say like, hey, help this small child. You guys are supposed to do this. I also want to be able to have like a scene with La Hortensia, just talking about like the lost daughter, and Atticus is just really hammering home the whole like, you're cool as long as you maintain your humanity, but the moment you throw that away for selfishness, like, you're free game. Oh, and Vampire Lady, like the one that Georgie inflicted with vampirism. I want her to stick around and maybe like help her deal with that, help her to be a friendly neighborhood vampire.
I'm looking forward to all of that, and then you having marked the darkened threshold.
Bro, okay,
That's
listen,
a lot of game.
Bro, I have an idea. I gotta see how it goes.
I mean, there's just so much wonderful contrast and thematic things going on. I mean, who the hell needs unscenes, even though those are great too. But I mean, like, just today, I mean, like, again, the difference between, top of the Abbey and the confessional, and then like the bottom with the basement, and then like, being refreshed by going over to Sir Atticus and Rack over at the murder shop, and then like Ernest in the trying to navigate through a bar fight. I mean, like, again, just like some wonderful scenes when you all separate or come together, and then just back and forth. And I appreciate Stars for you indulging me in doing that scene to explain Rag and the vampire woman being in the same place in Hargrave House, which is a shitload of God knows what weirdness, to begin with. And yeah, I mean, like, I think everybody dealing with the misses / mixed results today was just, it just brought on so much dramatic story, and I appreciate you all for it. I mean, I was responding. I was responding, I was reacting, and then trying to do some callbacks, or maybe not even trying to do some callbacks, but just kind of giving you what I thought you wanted. So I figured if it wasn't, then you either like X card it, pause, rewind and redo, or you would mask it. So this way you would get a better result. So, I mean, any which way that it swung, I mean, like, you know, again, stars for everything that happened that everybody's mentioned already. And it's like, it was such a rich episode. I mean, I thought my heart was full like last season. God damn, this is turning out to be really, yeah, full of wonderful things this season. So keep it up. Wishes. There is a better plan going on. There are so many layers. You guys are giving me so many NPCs to play with. So many side characters that can come back or disappear or get changed in some way. Can't wait to see the chaos. Or
another star, by the way, is not letting Georgie have an out anytime to make an out for their new vampire companion.
yeah.
No discretion. We just know straight up.
Yeah. No.
Listen, he thought he had a good solution of locking the door, but apparently it got unlocked, and I was like, oh no, what happened there? And that's like, that's a wish of mine to explore, like, how did this happen? Was it one of our side characters that we know about, or is it someone else?
You can't sweep a whole vampire under the rug. Are you kidding me?
That was I was not gonna let that slide, Chaotic. You had to know that, right?
I know that, but it's just like, it was like, huh.
Yeah, I do
Just
want
quickly?
to echo that star. Like, I want to know who did that. I want to know who unlocked that door.
I mean, I have my theories, but it's my theories. So
I know it wasn't Ernest.
no, it wasn't Ernest.
It wasn't
Other than
Ernest.
that, no clue.
No, it's fine. No, it was not Ernest.
For once, it wasn't Ernest unlocking something.
or accidentally tripping on something and what have you. Oh
Or
my
just
God.
probably forgot to lock the door behind him and left and cracked open. You know, dog got out.
I rewatch this stuff, so you know, you can infer all you want, but if you don't rewatch this stuff, that's fine too. Make your own guesses. So anyway, wonderful session again, but in different ways from last time or even the time before that. Holy sheep shit, this is an awesome season, and I thank you all for it. My God. A lot of stuff owed for next time. Can't wait to see the unseen. And I owe you a mastermind clue. Yes, I know that. And yeah, I can't wait to hear these masks as well come dawn. All right. And we will see how this demonic three-way goes next time. Can't wait. Yay! Wish. All right. Fabulous. You guys have a wonderful week. If I don't already see you for something else, God help us. And happy gaming. All right. So catch you
Good night.
later.
Good night.
Bye.